The first thing that came to mind when I watched this thing was that Chiko Sagba and Leone. As you know how, there's always somebody that can call you to order. When things go wrong, brothers, it's brother doing this, somebody will call the three of them to like, are you people okay? So how did this go on for so long? And somebody cannot sit the three of you down. I found that very, very scary. Welcome to Brown's Couch. I'm Afolabi-Brown, and you are?
Femi Afolabi-Brown.
Good to have you. Why are you always dressed like me?
I chose what I wanted.
I wore this color
I
first.
chose what I wanted for my wardrobe. I didn't know what you were going to wear. I just found you like this.
I've been noticing in the past few episodes you've been
complaining. No, Mariah, I can't do that. That's not my way.
Anyways, in the last 1 week, we've gotten quite a number of requests from friends saying that we should discuss the Peter and Paul affair. It's been quite interesting. I would say heartbreaking actually for me, because I didn't even know how to respond to the anger I saw and the hurt I saw when Peter was expressing his own side of the story. But I thought it was important for us to discuss it in Brown's Couch, because Brown has a background in music. He's managed him and his brother. I've had music management. So he has quite an in-depth knowledge on what music management should look like. Although he never became a Burna Boy. But either way, there's nothing God cannot do.
Please.
Let's go back to the matter.
Don't rub it in, please.
Let's start. What do you make of the entire, I think it was 7-part episode of what happened? What do you make of it?
Honestly, I think it's a complete embarrassment. An embarrassment to the family. And an embarrassment to what we have traditionally believed. All along, we've always believed that twins share a special bond, that twins don't fight. You know how our own twins are. And I've had a couple of friends who are actually twins, and I know the bond. It looks as if they cannot break. In this case, it's broken. And in this case also, the back and forth, when people you used to revere, people you saw as stars, people who you used to adore, all of a sudden come on the social media and they're having this kind of back and forth. In fact, there are times that I cringe that, wow, how can this kind of information be allowed to get to the public? It's really messy. If you are looking at the social implication of it, it's very messy. And leave the social implication out of it. When you start listening to the parts one by one and the kind of information Peter was spilling out there, well, we have not heard from the other side. But based on what Peter has said so far, all I could just think about was the darkness in the heart of man. That can man be this wicked? If a man can be this mean to his sibling or to his twin brother, how mean can such a man be to people who are not his blood?
When I was...
That's what I think until we hear of them. That's what we are going to continue to assume.
Also, I've tried to respond. And we've also seen a few clips of them speaking. But the first thing that came to mind when I watched this thing was that Chiko Sagba and Leone. As you know how, there's always somebody that can call you to order. When things go wrong, brothers, it's brother doing this, somebody will call the three of them to like, are you people okay? So how did this go on for so long? And somebody cannot sit the three of you down. I found that very, very scary.
Honestly, I can't fathom it personally. Because if I can't think about it, no elder in the family, no family member to see them to have a proper meeting and iron things out till it gets to this point. Honestly, if we look at it critically, if people are observing, if people think like me, what has transpired so far amongst the brothers is a reflection of the kind of family they are. I can't see any of their family members come around my family. I will tell them, say, these people are toxic people. These people are hostile people. That's the impression they've created about themselves.
You always say something to your kids that the family is the last line of defense.
Yes.
And I would like you to explain to us why you always say that.
You see, after this P-Square thing, I'm not sure if I can say that for everybody again.
Okay.
Because I have always believed, based on the kind of family I am from, that your family is the last line of defense. And that saying actually has a history for me. If I may go back into the history, I used to have a friend, not that he's not my friend anymore, but we've just lost contact. His name is Moody. He was born and raised in the barracks. So he has a lot of information about military stuff. His father was like a general. So one day, Moody and I, we went to a photography exhibition of Don Babas. You know that famous photographer called Don Babas. And we were looking at all the photographs. And there was a particular photograph. I mean, there were photographs of the military, things that happened during the Civil War, the military heads of states, the barracks, soldiers, and stuff like that. So I saw this particular photograph. It was a drum. You know, the big bass drum that they used the foot to beat, right? It was a big bass drum placed at the center of a road, a tarmac, on a tarmac road. I mean, on a tarred road, white tarred road. And there was no body, not a single soul in the black and white photograph, just the drum. And at the center of the membrane of the drum was a scorpion, the image of a scorpion. And I asked my friend, Moody, what does this mean? What does it mean? Now told me that is the insignia of the Brigade of Guards. I now ask him that what is the Brigade of Guards? He now says
the last line of defense.
The Brigade of Guards is the last line of defense of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That, let's say, for example, there is mutiny or there is a coup d'etat, and the whole of the Nigeria army, they are coming for the person of the president, that the band of the Brigade of Guards will surround him, they will support him, and they will fight till you kill the last one of them before you can touch the president. That's the president's last line of defense. And it's stuck with me for a long time, and I continue to think about it, that who will now be my own last line of defense? If the president has that, who is my own last line of defense? And from that moment, I started paying attention to my family in a different way. And I studied my dad. That is actually how he has lived his life. He lived his life in such a way that his wife, his children, his siblings will always be there to support him. You know, you expect to get back love when you give love. So my father gave a lot of love to family. And I started doing the same thing. And if I look at my life now, I'm at peace with my grandmother, with my mother, with all my siblings, all the spouses of my siblings, all their children. And that gives me a lot of confidence, a lot of joy. You get, I don't care what outsiders are saying. As long as these people are cool with me, I'm fine. So I call them.
In Peter's case, he had that with his wife. He had that peace with his wife. And I think Paul also, they had, although I think Paul's wife probably left him, but Peter also had that peace. So what role do you think wives or spouses should play in this defense or holding up of the family, especially with your siblings?
Okay. You see, when you are living a nuclear family the nuclear family where you are born into, to go and join with another person, to start another family, the dynamics are tricky. Especially when you are working on stuff together in your original family. Do you understand? Parents start a family, right? When when they were born to their parents, they started as a family unit. Over the years, they bonded strongly. A very strong bond was established, right? Now, you now leave that family to go and join with a woman or join with a man to start a new family. You see, if you don't handle it carefully, your obligations to your original family may actually start conflicting with your obligations to your new family, which have just started with your wife. If you have a good wife, it makes it easier, right? But I will advise Because there's usually initially a bit of resentment because our brother is not always available the way he used to be. The things we are doing together as P-Square, as Northside Music or whatever the record label was, his attention is diverted to his new family. But at that point, everybody needs to relax. Everybody needs to calm down. Look at what do you specifically need from him? What does it specifically have to do for his new family? Identify it clearly, because a lot of times we have problems because we didn't sit down to identify all these things. That's why we just mix things up and we get confused and we now start fighting unnecessarily. Now, his commitment to the music is there. The new wife is not meant to interfere with it. His commitment to his new wife, the original family, is not meant to interfere with it. Separate the duties and nobody should interfere. For me, I expect the original family to treat the wife kindly. Right. They are not living together. They are not together. And
so, I mean, just to clarify for our viewers, the wives are not involved. We're just speaking generally as
you
in
see,
people to...
Don't ever say wives are not involved. Every single thing...
In this matter.
Every single thing each person is doing. Their spouses are the people behind the doors giving them advice. They won't come out openly to tell you, except they are not husband and wife. How many things do you do? Do you do that? I don't know. How many things do I do that you don't know? Almost every choice I make, everything I want to do, we run it together inside the house before we go and act with other people, with third parties. So the wives would have played a silent role in the house without anybody seeing their fingers around it. So, and as a good wife, it is your duty really to try to rally the brothers together, to try to make sure things don't deteriorate or crumble.
In situations where that the brothers, it has been toxic from the start, you know, what role could have been I mean, again, I don't want us to bring the wives into this conversation because Peter has made it clear that this is a rift between the three of them, not the spouses. But do you think the spouses could have also supported all that, whatever played out by seeing three different women prompting from the background, do you think?
Of course. Definitely. There will be a wife who will tell the brother, and there will be another one, but well, go and have the meeting. Let's see if it can be resolved. And at the end of the day, because it's so toxic, and there are some husbands that won't even listen to their wives. You get, if the husband refuses to listen to the wife, for the sake of peace, the wife will step back and will allow the husband to do whatever he wants to do.
Let's now talk about money. We'll come back to the issue of what caused the rift, the issue of the money in a minute, because I wanted you to talk about that separately. But let's go to the issue of money. Why should money divide family? I mean, as much as Peter was trying to remind us, like, not to judge him, because don't say, because you guys are fighting for money. But how does money come into play? I don't understand the role money plays in dividing siblings, to even say twins. You worry you.
More. If money is a lot, right? Money can divide family, can divide siblings, especially if some of the siblings are unreasonable.
Betrayed.
Betrayal is part of being unreasonable. Greed is part of being unreasonable. Taking beyond what you deserve is unreasonable. Cheating somebody, giving them less than what they deserve is unreasonable. So money, but there are families that money cannot divide. Because in my own case, for example, at the time, all the things my dad left behind, though not a lot, like we're talking about here. But I realized that at every point in time, every sibling was willing to give everything to only one sibling, if that one sibling needs it more than the rest of us. You get what we were meant to share into 4 or 5, including my mom. Every member of the family was willing to surrender all to one individual. Do you understand? That's the spirit. That's the attitude. That's what they call your last line of defense. People who will stand for you in thick, in thin, in any situation. But apparently, from the way I see these guys, from the language they were using when they were having a fight, there was a time they got physical in the video, and one was threatening the other that he was going to kill him, that he would bury him, he would do all that. I was like, where is this kind of language coming from among siblings? So you see the toxicity in their family. You never can tell where it stems from. You can't tell the level of love that they used to raise them. You can't tell. And besides, I never heard gist about their dad. Maybe their dad died when they were young. Nobody can tell, because there is always a role that fathers play. Because all along, I've heard a lot of things being said about their mother. I've never heard anything about their dad.
Their older brothers have that.
Sorry?
They hear that they have an older brother.
Yes, two elder brothers. I think one older than Jude. They say they call that one Henry. Yes, and from the little we heard about it, Henry made some investments, helped them with their music video at a point in time and all that. But the role of the dad, because you see, that's why I always say it. There is nothing as good as a situation where parents sit down together to raise children. I don't know much about their dad, but I suspect strongly that he probably passed prematurely, because in the initial days of P Square, we only heard about their mother who did everything possible for them to succeed. Do you understand? So maybe at a point in time, a fatherly role was missing, because if you've always had a father, a real father is meant to rally the family around together. Do you get? You see this attitude of bringing people together. You learn it from a tender age. If you could, you must have seen it from either your mom or your dad, that the family must not break. There are times emotions will run very high and you think like walking away. You want to walk away. But when you remember the admonition of your parents over the years, you will know that walking away is not an option, and you'll find a way to curtail it. But I think something is missing fundamentally in this family.
So now let's talk about the business of music.
Yeah.
Because which is the core of what this rift is about.
Yeah.
The sharing formulas, the fact that the older brother who neither sang or had any serious role to play was getting a large chunk of their revenue. What do you make of all that happened in that sharing formula? Is that normal for a producer, a manager to take that kind of money from the artists?
You see, in music, everybody has a role. There is the role of the writer. There is the role of the singer. There is the role of the producer. There is the role of the manager. That's how it should be. I'm just trying to simplify things. I don't want to go. Even the choreographer. Sorry?
Even the choreographer.
Yes, there is a role for everybody. You don't mix it up. But because in Nigeria, especially at that time, all these roles were not clearly separated.
Yeah.
So there is a likelihood that one person is doing the work of two people, that as the songwriter, you are involved in the production, you are involved in the choreography, you are also involved in the singing, you are involved in everything. But if you look at P Square, basically, two people are P Square, Paul and Peter. They are both writers, they are both singers, right?
No, I think Paul is the writer and singer. Peter is just the dancer.
No, don't say that.
That's the claim that Paul says he wrote 99% of the songs.
99% of the songs. But if you look at the new song that Peter wrote, was it Paul that helped him to write it?
No, true. So they have actually...
So that's the claim of Paul.
Right, okay.
Peter would probably not agree that I wrote this until you ask Peter. Peter will tell you what he wrote in it and what he sang in it. But you will agree that Peter sang too. Yeah. Peter sings too, because from his new single, he's doing his singing by himself. Now, based on my own experience with my brother, and typically what obtains globally, you pay your producer one-off. The producer is the person that does the arrangements, makes the music, puts the beat and all that. And once you pay them, they are gone. That's the end. In all this account, I never heard Jude to be the producer. Now, basically, his duty was a manager. Managers shouldn't get between 5 to 10% of earnings. Their mom used to be their manager. Their mom handed over to some guy called Hawiti that had an 8-year or some years of contract with them.
6 years, yeah.
6-year contract with them. It was after that, Hawiti, that their brother, Jude, came in to take over. Typically, managers earn between 5 to 10%, right? Managers can be fired at any time.
Yeah.
Beyonce fired her dad.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson fired her dad. So typically, managers can be fired. What Jude contributed that gave him 1/3 of their earnings of the sharing formula is what I do not understand. He's not a singer. He's not a dancer.
Not a writer.
He's not a producer.
Not a writer.
He's not a writer. Kò bá wọn ta guitar.
He's just a brother.
Kò dẹ̀ bá wọn lùlù. I cannot understand.
Says he calls it brotherly love. Share.
Now, if it is brotherly love, where is the brotherly love now? If there was brotherly love then, what happened to the brotherly love? If there was brotherly love, why would the sharing formula now turn out to be like this? It was meant to be split in 3 ways. And all of a sudden, we realize that somebody is getting almost 50% of all the earnings.
If what Peter is alleging
it's true.
What is the way?
Wọ́n cheat ẹ̀. Wọ́n rẹ̀ jẹ gidi ni. Wọ́n rẹ̀ jẹ tán.
That is serious betrayal of the
Wọ́n rẹ̀ jẹ gidi. Do you understand? It's because everything Peter has presented, right? I'm very reluctant to even hear from the other party. Because what will the other party say that will change the statement of account that we have seen with regards to the transfer? What will change? What will they say that will now change the fact that EFCC sealed their properties? EFCC froze their account that, look, you can't touch this property, you can't touch this money for now. Do you understand? Because you know why I'm happy about this matter? First of all, nobody can impute politics into it. It is not political. It is not religious. It is not tribal. It is one family. The same father, the same mother give birth to all of them. They're in the courts. Now, you will now know how EFCC works. You will now see how the court works. Because at the end of the day, when judgment is given, all the money they are meant to pay Peter, every kobo, the court will tell them to go and pay him. If they have to sell all their properties everywhere in the world to pay him back, they will pay him back.
But how can that be enforced? If Peter
immediately it has been calculated that this is the amount you are owing him. The government, the EFCC, all the agencies of government will start going after your properties immediately. They will start auctioning it immediately.
But you see, so I mean, I'm happy the case is in court.
Yes.
Do you think it was right for Peter to come out to say something like, I mean, saying something is, they say sub judice is in court.
Yes.
It shouldn't be discussing it on social media.
It shouldn't be discussed on the social media. But if you do that on the social media, it is left for the other party to file in court that you are doing so, and the court will call you to order to stop. Okay. If you now refuse to stop, then you will now be charged for contempt of court, and after you'll be asked to pay damages. That's the worst thing that can happen.
Okay.
So he knows until they tell him to stop, they have not warned him. They have not written a letter to him to stop. So it will continue to spill.
Okay, let's come to this issue of the brotherhood, because when I was watching the video, I mean, it seemed like Peter was a nice guy. I mean, based on his own account, he was the guy that allowed others to handle. I mean, he was somewhat docile, and I can almost understand and relate to the kind of personality he has. You know, what would you advise for especially people in that kind of situation? Because they trusted that their needs or their royalties will be paid to them appropriately. So they handed it over to their older brother. How do you think this could have been done better, such that this outcome would not have been what we've seen today?
You see, Peter behaved correctly.
Because he also was correct to trust.
To trust. These are your brothers, for crying out loud. This is your twin brother and your elder brother involved. If you can't trust them, who are you going to trust? Do you understand? So it is okay. Somebody has to do the managing. Somebody has to do the funds management. Transfers here and there, payments here and there. Somebody has to do the monitoring of the inflows here and there. You cannot be a creative and now be monitoring finances closely like that. That's not your job. That will kill creativity. That will kill your innovativeness. You understand? So he did the right thing. It's just unfortunate that he was dealing with the wrong people. And now wrong people will be treated for who they are in court.
Do you think that this can still be resolved as brothers?
I can't see it being resolved anymore.
As brothers, they can just
No,
say...
it can't be resolved.
Why?
Because the damage is beyond control. There are certain languages that have been used that we just got a glimpse of it. We just had a snippet of it on the social media. How can you threaten your brother? You kill him, you bury him. What kind of language is that? You've said that. How can you call out your brother's wife? I have a brother that has a wife. I almost say it to her. Do you understand? I'm just talking. You respect your brother's spouse. It's the right thing to do. You don't talk to your brothers, your sibling's spouse anyhow. You respect them. Full respect. So somebody you've talked to his wife anyhow. You've called out his wife on the social media. You now want to resolve it. Even the money you are going to pay back, where are you going to find it? The money that has dissipated to different places that you have spent on Balenciaga, G-Wagon here and there. Where are you going to get it from when the court gives the judge? The court, should be we are watching. It's in this country now that we will hear judgment. Yes, so want to dajo and lofuni $2 million. Ewama wakiri. Fiele is very sweet. It's like Netflix.
God have mercy. God have mercy on you. But how? Let me now, because people are listening, they are watching.
Yeah.
What can parents do?
Yeah.
To avoid this kind of rift between their children?
Good. More. I pray for people who have single parents. There is a teaching that comes from a man, and there is a teaching that comes from a woman to the children. They are different. For a child to be raised properly, you should have both. In fact, the teachings you may not be able to write it down. It may be in the form of vibes. You know, you cannot describe the vibe at times. Your vibe now, I cannot articulate it in words, but it's your vibe. I have my vibe that you cannot articulate. You may describe me as boisterous, exciting, but you cannot catch the details in words. There is the masculine vibe and there is the feminine vibe that cannot be captured in any kind of descriptive word. Those two things are important in the lives of children. But if, for reasons beyond your control, you don't have both, a single father, should try as much as possible to provide both his own vibes and the vibes of the mother, and vice versa. A single mother should try to do that. Try to play the role of the dad. Things you think a man should say to the children. Treat them the way you think a man should treat the children. Try as much as possible so that the children can have an experience of both worlds, right? Now, principally, if you are now we are going to be giving specific instructions. Teach your children to be grateful. You see, gratitude. You see, I'm not talking, Itelonu is contentment. Okay. Itelonu is not gratitude.
Okay, what's gratitude?
Gratitude is to be thankful. Gratitude is to be thankful. And I will tell you in this case, where thankfulness is important. If you look at the arrangement that they had, that they should share it 3 ways. if I were Jude, I'll be thankful to the door. Are you with me?
That they even considered me.
Considered him like that. You are not entitled as their brother to receive that. It is not what you deserve.
That's humility, bro.
Yes, you do not merit it, right? But they agreed with you to give you a third of the earnings of P Square.
But that's not gratitude. That's humility, bro.
Humility is part of it, right? In fact, humility. Teach children humility.
Yeah.
Teach children gratitude. Because for me, when I'm thanking my friends, I have some friends that do.
That you're thanking is too much, Brown. Brown overthanks. Like it's really even me on behalf of the friend, I'm almost irritated. Like like you overdo it though.
You see, if you are thankful and you are sincere about it, you will never be unhappy in your life. Every moment of your life, you'll be happy. Because what you have gotten, you have overvalued it. Right? So for you, you always think you have gotten a win-win situation. You feel like you've won a lottery 247. It gives you happiness. You understand? Look, the foundation of gratitude, the foundation of the learning of gratitude, my father gave it to me. People who did my father favors when he was 12, favors as small as giving him a pair of shoes, used shoes. Even in my father's old age, every time he had an opportunity to thank them, he thanked them for it. Are you with me? It's not about if you thank, you are going to get more favors. It's not, my thankfulness is not based on what I want to receive more.
Your thankfulness looks like, that saying that says, Malum Boda, they go very general. That kind of way, overthinking, that kind of, I don't know, I'm using the wrong.
You see, if you take time to be close to me enough, you will know that it is from my heart.
I know it's from your heart.
Do you understand?
But the person receiving is wondering, Ross, now, what is it?
People who know me, eventually you know that he's like that. Do you get? Now let's relate it to a Jude. You are not a writer. You are not a singer. You are not a dancer. You are not a producer. You are just a manager. Management that your mom started, that handed over to Hawiti, now to you. And all of a sudden, the boys agreed to give you a third. Normally, you should prostrate for them and say thank you. Are you with me? Sure. Because that type of wealth could never in his life
cross his path.
Do you understand? You should be grateful for that. Assuming the boys woke up one day and say, hey, Jude, we cannot give you 1/3 anymore. We are going to be giving you 20%.
Be thankful.
Or 50%. If I were him, I would still prostrate all the same. So, and you boys, God bless you. Be grateful. Because that was unmerited wealth. Do you understand?
True.
That was unmerited wealth. Now, in this unmerited wealth, from all Peter has presented so far, you now went behind to take so much more.
Create a new company and siphoning all the company.
And you now have so much more than them. You now have the guts or had the guts to say to one of them that you kill him, you bury him. What level of arrogance, self-entitlement is that? So you teach children gratitude. Teach children humility. Teach
also, it's Afolabi-Brown.
Contentment.
Yes.
Contentment.
Because no matter what percentage they give
important.
You should be thankful.
Yes, you should be thankful for it. Teach people contentment. Teach them the law of karma, the law of harvest, that you will reap what you sow. Teach them it is very important. Teach them to do unto others as they would want others to do unto them. Teach them all these things. If you learn all these things, the problems you'll be having with people will be very, very minimal. Because it is the Lord that blesses. I say it. Paul plants, Apollos waters. It is the Lord that grows. The little that they give you as the manager, you can actually play with it and have an extraordinary life.
Sure.
Are you with me? So you need to understand that, but it seems that their elder brother did not understand that. He wanted to be wealthier than them as their elder brother. He felt he was supposed to be wealthier than those boys. Because if you look at the figures, we look at the transfers and the sharing, he got so much more than them.
Like 55%.
Got so much more than them. I was shocked that, how can this happen? In fact, at a point in time, I started believing that there is probably something he did for them that led to their success that they cannot say out in public. That's what I have come to conclude. That there must be something that he did for them secretly that cannot be revealed in public. That's why they allowed him to have all that, to take that much from them. That's how I see it.
Maybe there's something deeper that we don't...
Something deeper.
Because it just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. You're a mere manager. You're not a singer. You're not a writer. You're not a producer. Just manager.
Manager, no, Shishe. Manager does quite a bit of work too. Manager, because
their mom did it.
Interfacing with international distribution companies.
Their mom did it. Howity did it.
And then they were not this big.
Yes, any other company could have handled it. What experience did they have before then as a manager? Did they have prior experience? There were management companies who run it professionally who could have taken over from them. Now that even Paul has gone separately from them, is Jude the one managing Paul now? If he was such a clever manager, why didn't Paul still ask him to be managing him?
Because he knows that he's probably greedy. And
please.
Let's come back. I mean, as much as I don't want to bring the women in this, because it's always good to separate the issues. But the influence of your spouse, as you said, shouldn't be totally ignored. Because everything we have seen from those three men is probably been encouraged by the spouse or close people around them. Should you listen to your spouse in certain areas, in certain things? Or are there areas you shouldn't even include your spouses involved in?
You see, when siblings are dealing, especially in this kind of situation, I think you should carry your spouse along. Do you understand? If you understand your spouse, there are spouses that the right thing to do is the opposite of the advice they give you. That is the good advice. Or evaluate your spouse, understand your spouse. Somebody like you now, whenever you give me an advice, I consider it a check on my own extremism. Whenever you give me an advice, I consider you too soft, too kind. But I now juxtapose it with the step I want to take actually by myself. And I understand I'm going extreme. I now merge it and I find a middle ground.
It's not all the time you listen to me.
There are times I may not listen to you because I think maybe your option is just too soft, that I'll be cheating myself completely if I listen to you. Do you understand? But I do listen to you. I do listen to you. It is important you listen to your wife. But if you know you have a mad wife, do you understand? Some wives are mad. They are good for the husband though. They are good for their children. But they have They have hyper, one year where they go. Do you get? If you know you have a wife, 2 years where they go. Do you get? You understand that she's an extremist. So you try to balance it yourself. You regulate that advice. You don't go the extreme route she's suggesting. Your wife may be advising you to go and get a OPC or to go and get army, to go and carry somebody. You'll be the one to say, Madam, let us go and report at the police station. Don't let us take thugs. Do you understand? So you need to know the kind of wife you have. Now, if you now have a greedy wife and you're a greedy man yourself, the wife will tell you, don't answer your brother. Your brother is calling you, don't pick his call. Your brother sent you a message, let me type the reply. She will be the one to type the curses that you will send to your brother. Some wives are like that. They destroy the family. And if you allow that kind of wife to run the affairs of your home, you are going to get messed up. The wives of these boys involved, we don't know. In fact, one has a new wife, a second wife, who has not been in the picture from the beginning. So for us to understand, you have to bring the woman who left to come and talk about it, and the other wives who are present currently. You understand? But they have not put out their wives out there. Yeah. But we know if any married man would be listening a lot to his wife.
Okay, so let's begin to bring this conversation to a close, because I'm trying to see what advice. I mean, thank God the matter is in court. So we're waiting for the ruling from that end. But what general advice? Because now, as a Christian man,
yeah,
you know, who we know that forgiveness is important.
Yeah.
Putting on your Christian mind, what's the best way to resolve this issue?
We wait for the judgment of the court.
No, the Christian mind, judiciary is different. The Christian mind, what would your Christian mind
In my
say?
own Christian mind, though, I will collect all my money back first. I will collect my money back, and I will forgive, and I will forget. I can forgive and forget, but I will continue to pursue my money.
Because you think that money is important?
That money is his future. That's the future of his children. That's the school fees of his children, the comfort of his children. Will he now let it go? That's his sweat. That's what he worked for. His earnings, legitimately his, to take care of him, his wife, and his children, his children's children.
But if you forgive, shouldn't you just let it go?
Money that is over $2 million based on the little calculation I have done by the available information. I can't let $2 million go. No, I can't. I will take it. Whatever I can take, sell everything you have, bring all the money in your account, whatever you can pay out of that 2 million, but I will make sure, because the Bible says that if a thief steals and is caught, he will replenish, he will pay back in 7 folds. Even the Bible says thief must pay back.
Isaiah.
Thief must pay back. So they are meant to pay back. Asking them to pay back is Christian. Do you understand? That's what the Bible says, pay back.
What would if you were to speak to Jude this morning?
I can never have a conversation with a Jew. God forbid. Like, if I see somebody like that coming, I go another way. God forbid that we interact or interface. Never. How?
So you can't have a conversation with a Jew?
Never.
What if you are Peter's lawyer?
What?
What if you are Peter's lawyer?
Peter's lawyer? My own work is to recover the money. That's all. My own work would just be to recover the money and we move.
What of the brother? What would you say to Paul?
Paul, because they are twins, I will first of all collect all the money Paul is meant to pay back, because Paul is supposed to pay back as well. Or maybe Paul doesn't have to pay. They take all the money from Jude. I'll tell him, if you can reconcile, reconcile. Pay.
So you tell him to reconcile with his brother?
Yes. I will tell Paul to reconcile with his twin brother. And I will tell him that it is wrong for you to be calling out your brother's wife. Don't do that. It's the height of disrespect for a sibling to call out the spouse of another sibling. It's wrong. Absolutely.
What's your general advice to the family, Paul, Peter, and Jude, and probably to even anybody else who's going through something similar? What's your general advice?
You see, I will advise them as musicians to avoid ego issues. Any musician, group of musicians working as a group, drop your ego, drop your pride, drop your greed, work together. And I will tell you this, when the enemy sees the glory ahead, the glory of the latter days, the enemy strikes. The enemy breaks you up so that you won't achieve the glory of the latter days, which is greater than the glory of the former. Assuming the enemy had not split them to pieces like the way they were now, it would have still been a force to reckon with now. If you look at the music industry generally, internationally, when successful bands, they split up, highly successful, take a look. I mean, they go down. Their earnings reduce, their popularity, everything reduces. Take a look at Lighthouse Family, for example. Paul Tucker and Tunde Bayewu. When they were Lighthouse Family, everybody was talking about them. But immediately they went their separate ways. It went down. The same thing happened with Savage Garden. Immediately they split up, they went down. Spice Girls, as they were known, the individual girls couldn't compare with Spice Girls. Do you understand? Once in a while, you have extraordinary talents who are in a group. For example, Michael. Michael was in Jackson 5.
And Beyonce.
Yes, and Beyonce was in Destiny's Child. But if you look at it critically, those were the individuals who were actually driving the whole group. So if you actually pull them out, they may succeed. But generally, when you're working together in twos, in threes, and you are highly, highly successful, it is wrong to lose that winning formula. And P-Square lost it. That winning formula. Look, I understand a bit of music. Those guys were extraordinary. First of all...
Extraordinary is an understatement.
Understatement. First of all, Morayo, when it comes to looks, you know the way Flavor is today. Flavor, you know, Flavor and Nabanya. They were like two flavors together. Do you understand? P-Square were like two flavors put together. That was how P-Square was. Upper body physique, 6-pack, 2-pack, everything fighting, biceps, triceps, even their passport, second to none, fine boys. Now they are now dancing like Usher. Usher was second only to Michael Jackson in dancing. They were dancing like that, singing with that kind of voice. The beat of their music, powerful. The melody, powerful. The lyrics, on point. In fact...
We're the best thing that came out of Africa.
I'm telling you.
Best thing.
I'm telling you. Because of this rift, they put an abrupt halt to it. Suddenly, it ended because of the fight. Do you know how much more they could have made? If today they are releasing music individually, look at each of them, Rude Boy and Peter. If you look at them on screen, they still looked good. They still looked like real musicians, people who could be acceptable. But just imagine they sustained that tempo. Do you know what they will have been? Personally, the only person I may compare to them by my own choice, my own preferences. I like tall, good-looking men with powerful physiques that can sing. Flavor, Nabanya, I can compare with them. Two-Face, Idibia, fine boys. I can compare to them.
Body now. It's skinny.
But fine boy, none. Do you get? Do you get? So maybe only Flavor self that I can compare to them. Do you understand? And because of a rift, because of greed, because of ego, they brought it to an abrupt end.
They stole P-Square from the world.
I'm telling you.
So
that's what they did.
So sad.
So if I will advise families, right? You see the glory of the latter day. The enemy sees it. He doesn't want it to happen. They should have been together in the place of prayer. That where God is taking us to, anything that will truncate it, Father, remove it in the name of Jesus.
Be it our brother.
Be it our brother. In fact, be it our brother. Father, remove it in the name of Jesus. They could have made so much more. Look at the money they were talking about. $2 million. Do you know they could have had over 50, maybe $100 million?
Absolutely.
Look at what Burna Boy is raking. They could have raked that. Look at what Davido or Whiskey they're raking.
They don't have the passport of these guys.
Nibo. Burna Boy doesn't have their passports. Davido does not have their passports.
Passport means physique, right?
Face, fine face. Yeah. Nobody has their passport. Nobody has their body except Flavor. Nobody. And their dancing skills, nobody in Nigeria. The melody of their music, beautiful. Vocal texture, powerful.
Oh, the bunch.
The bunch of gato, our band boys and Shegani. The bunch good. Yeah. Very good. I will rate the band to very close to them.
Yeah.
But The band is, my boy is Gatoni. Do you know their height? They're like Flavor, double Flavor.
Flavor, yeah.
Hey, Flavor squared.
Bros. Flavor. I think we can wrap up on that. Thank you so
Maybe.
much. That's all we can take on this conversation about Peter and Paul with their brother Jude. See you next time. Bye for now.